We started out driving cars manually, then upgraded to being able to travel with ease through an app called Uber. Now, could we possibly be advancing to self-driving cars? Here today we have Jane Doe to talk with us about the ethical issues on this hot topic. How are you doing today, Jane?
I'm great, Ellen. Thanks for having me here today. I can't wait to get started.
Well, before we get started, let's take a look at the preview for your new short film, Self-Driving Cars, The Ethical Issues. Wow, that looks interesting. Tell us a little bit more about it, Jane.
Well, Ellen, before I go too in-depth into this topic, let me inform you about what an ethical issue is. An ethical issue is a problem or situation that requires a person or organization to choose between alternatives that must be evaluated as right or wrong. With this in mind, the questions at hand are how should these cars be programmed to react during an unavoidable accident? Should it minimize the loss of life, even if it means sacrificing the occupants, or should it protect the occupants at all costs?
Wow, I didn't realize the depths of this issue.
It goes a lot farther than most people realize. Did you know that there was an incident in Florida where a man was killed driving one of these self-driving cars? While driving the car, the sensor system failed to distinguish a diesel truck and trailer crossing the highway, causing the car to slam into the trailer at full speed.
That's horrible. Why are people willing to buy these cars knowing they are putting these ethical decisions in the hands of technology?
Well, there are quite a few benefits to self-driving cars, including that it could decrease the accidents caused by human error, that elderly and disabled individuals would have freedom of enhanced mobility, and it also allows individuals to use their time wisely without having to worry too much about road safety.
Although it is impressive to think how far technology has come, it is scary to think about putting your life and the lives of others in the hands of technology. Ah! Oh my God!
Well, whew, that was scary. Kind of like how some of the approaches perceive these issues.
Really? How's that? Do you mean like how the car will make the decision?
Yes, for example, the utilitarian approach will make the decision based on the greater amount of good for the greater amount of people. If the car is faced with pedestrians, the car will swerve and avoid the pedestrians, but would possibly injure the occupants by doing so. Whereas, if the car is programmed for an egotistical approach, it will possibly injure the pedestrians in order to save the car's occupants at all costs. The rush-to-market strategy that is being used isn't allowing enough time for the engineers to work through the problems that may arise.
Well, is there a possibility that consumers would be able to choose the approach their cars would take?
Yes. But that choice then creates more ethical dilemmas in the form of who is to blame for the decision, the car or the consumer.
So with everything you've learned, where do you stand on this issue, Jane?
Well, personally, I believe the rush-to-market strategies that these companies are using will do more harm than good without more research into each approach. Until self-driving cars have been tested thoroughly, I believe the ethically correct approach would be to wait before introducing them to our roadways.
Well, there you have it, folks, the ethical issues on self-driving cars.